Yeah. Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss about the principle and working of vapor compression refrigerator. In the previous video we have seen what is a refrigeration, what is a refrigerant, what are the properties of refrigerants, etc. So here principle of working of a refrigerator. Refrigeration is a process of continuous removal of heat from a space. So how it is happening and what is the law it is following, all the things let me see here. So according to the second law of thermodynamics, the heat flows. If you want to remove the heat from a lower temperature to higher temperature, we need a device. That's what it says, a device which gives up external work, right? So normally heat transfer can take place from higher temperature to lower temperature without any work. But if you want to transfer the heat from a lower temperature level to higher temperature level, we need some external works to be done. So that is the refrigeration principle. So based upon this law, thermodynamics of second law of thermodynamics, the device is designed. So the refrigerator need an external power for removing the heat continuously from the cabinet, and it maintains the temperature below to that of the surrounding temperature. So this is the refrigeration, how it is function. So refrigerator is functioning. So in refrigerator some important parts are there, that the four important parts we know. One is compressor. There is a compressor which is used to compress the refrigerant, and then a condenser where the vapor is going to be condensed into liquid, and an expansion device where the pressure is going to be reduced, and a compressed evaporator where the evaporation process taking place, that is the vapor is converted, the liquid of the refrigerant is converted into vapor here. So one by one we will see here in this process. So main we call it as vapor compression refrigerator. It's one type of the refrigerator. How it is going to be function, let me see. So for this vapor compression refrigeration system, we have four important components. Number one is throttle valve. We call it as expansion valve. So throttle valve. Second one is the evaporator. Okay. Third one is the compressor. Fourth one is the condenser. So in first one, the throttle valve. The use of throttle valve is here pressure reduction process taking place. So it is converted into a low pressure liquid. In a throttle valve, the refrigerant vapor is going to be converted into a low pressure, low temperature liquid. So once the low pressure, low temperature liquid comes, then it is going to evaporator. So in evaporator, what is happening is the low pressure, low temperature liquid passes through the set of coils. When it passes through the coil, passes through the system, and through the coil, it absorbs the heat energy in the system, which is the refrigerator system, and it becomes vapor. So we call it as evaporator. Evaporator is the one where it is going to convert into a vapor. Then the vaporized refrigerant pass on to the compressor. So here the compressor, reciprocating compressor is there. So reciprocating compressor, it compresses the fluid, that is the vapor, refrigerant vapor, and increases the pressure. So in compressor, the main use of compressor is increasing the pressure. High pressure, high temperature vapor now comes out of the compressor and it passes through the condenser. Condenser, the function of condenser is to condense the liquid, that is condense the vapor and convert into a liquid refrigerant. So these four important things are there. So that how it is going to be worked out, we will see. Let me see in next slide one by one. So what is the use of expansion valve, what is the use of condenser, what is how this compressor is taking place, how is the function of everything. So in this slide, we can see that vapor compression refrigerator has mainly of four components: evaporator, compressor, condenser, and the throttle valve. So evaporator is a low temperature liquid. In evaporator is the area where we are keeping the materials as in the fridge, we can call it as refrigerator fridge, and there a coil is going on, the passing on the coil. Through the coil, the liquid, low temperature low pressure liquid is passing on to the refrigerator chamber. So when it passes through the chamber, through the set of coils, it absorbs the heat whatever it is inside the chamber, okay, and it takes the heat, becomes vapor, it changes into vapor. So the evaporator is used to evaporate the liquid refrigerant. So while coming out of evaporator, it becomes low pressure and a low temperature vapor. Right. Next, the compression process. You can see the compression process, what is happening in the compression. So compression process, where the low pressure vapor which is coming out of the evaporator, so that is going to the compressor area. So in compressor, it is going to be get compressed. The gaseous, since the vapor, since the refrigerant vapor now it is gaseous stage, it goes into the compressor. So in compressor, compression takes place and raising the temperature and pressure. So this high pressure vapor then leaves the compressor. So when it enters as a low pressure vapor, it enters, and after that compression, it becomes a high pressure vapor and it leaves the compressor chamber. Then it ends to for compression, we need to connect a motor, electric motor is connected, so that it will be useful for the compression. Then it goes to the condensation chamber, where the condensation is taking place, that is it removes the refrigerant, releases its heat to outside of the environment, and there it changes again. Once it loses the all the heat to the atmosphere, then it changes phase to vapor to liquid once again. So on the exit of at the entrance, it becomes as a vapor, okay, high pressure vapor from the evaporator, from the compressor. After that, it releases its heat to the atmosphere, it becomes a liquid. So now it becomes high pressure liquid at the outlet of the condenser. So once the condenser is once it passes through the condenser, then it goes through the throttling and expansion valve. So the liquid passes through the throttle valve, where it suddenly expands to a low pressure. So once again, it comes to, before going for the evaporator, it reduces the pressure and it becomes a low pressure. Sudden decrease of the temperature due to the decrease in pressure. So now it becomes the refrigerator temper. We can have a low temperature liquid. That again it goes to the evaporator chamber. So this is the cyclic process. So at the end of after the expansion valve, it goes to the evaporation chamber. Then again it's absorbs the heat from the chamber. So this cycle is carry on from evaporation, then compression, then condensation, then expansion valve. So this entire cycle is happening. That's what here we can have a vapor compression refrigeration system. Once again, we will see here this diagram, that when it passes through the evaporator, so it becomes very hot, and hot steam, it becomes vapor. So that vapor is going to compressor, it is getting compressed and it's sent to condenser. So in condenser, it is converted again as a liquid. So that liquid again, it passes through reduction valve, that is the throttle valve. Then you can get it to the again the cyclic process is going on. So this is called a vapor compression refrigeration system, how it works. In the next video, we will see about vapor compression, vapor absorption system, and how it is going to be worked out. So thanks for watching.